Hello everyone, and welcome to Quantum Universum. In the February video regarding Ukraine, I had already mentioned major upheavals that would arise in March. Therefore, today, we will see together what the sky of March has in store, not only for the developments of the conflict, but also for Zelensky. We will first examine the effect of these transits on Ukraine, and then on its leader. Now let's not waste any more time and get started right away by discovering what the transits of March 1st tell us, so we can get an idea of how the month will begin for Ukraine. Guys, the situation is getting tense. The ascendant of the transits is in Gemini, directly opposite Ukraine's natal Ketu in the 7th house, which concerns allies and declared enemies. In short, diplomatic relations are on shaky ground, with possible conflicts both with friends and adversaries. And watch out for Mars, which is positioned exactly over natal Rahu. This is an explosive mix. We might witness impulsive and aggressive actions, maybe even some sudden military escalation. Pluto in the 8th house, on the other hand, smells like shady dealings, sabotage, cyber attacks, and hidden power plays. Then there's this Sun-Saturn conjunction in Aquarius in the 9th house, which screams international pressure. There could be political or legal decisions imposed from outside. Meanwhile, the 10th house is packed with planets: Moon, Mercury, Venus, Neptune, and Rahu, so expect confusion, propaganda, and political chaos. Jupiter in the 12th house. It could mean secret aid, or an ally playing a double game, but also hidden truths coming to light. In short, an explosive mix. Here comes the lunar eclipse in Virgo, right in the 4th house, which concerns the country's internal stability. This is not good news, as it activates the natal 10th house, the house of government. In simple terms, there could be political upheavals or sudden decisions. But there's more. The eclipsed moon is opposite Neptune in transit, which strongly suggests media manipulation and widespread confusion. Pluto in Capricorn in the 8th house continues to highlight hidden dangers and opaque moves. The ascendant in Gemini keeps pointing to Ukraine's 7th house, meaning tensions with other countries remain high. And Mars is still there, near natal Rahu, so there's a concrete risk of military actions or sudden clashes. Sun and Saturn remain in the 9th house, signaling heavy international pressure. Additionally, Venus, Mercury, and Neptune in the 10th house of transits suggest possible betrayals or deceptions at the diplomatic level. And Rahu near the mid-heaven? This indicates that unexpected turns in the conflict are likely. In short, stay alert. And here, things get even more serious. The solar eclipse in Pisces lands in the 9th house of transits, which concerns international relations. This could bring surprises from allies, perhaps unexpected aid, or drastic global decisions. But there's a problem. Pluto is still in Capricorn, in the 7th house, activating Ukraine's natal 2nd house. Translation: something big could happen on the economic front. Perhaps shifts in external support. The ascendant in Cancer overlaps with Ukraine's natal 8th house, meaning deep transformations, military expenditures, and potential economic shocks. Furthermore, the 9th house of transits is extremely crowded. Sun, Moon, retrograde Mercury, retrograde Venus, Neptune, and Rahu, so diplomatic confusion will reach extreme levels. And it's not over. Retrograde Mercury and Venus suggest secret negotiations or agreements falling apart at the last minute. Finally, Mars in the 12th house could indicate clandestine military operations, undeclared attacks, or hidden strategies being put into action behind the scenes. March 2025 will be a fiery month for Ukraine, with heavy transits and 2 eclipses shaking the government, international relations, and economic stability. We can expect moments of intense instability and crucial decisions ahead. And now, let's take a look at the effect of these transits on Zelensky. What stands out is that this will be an extremely critical period for him, with significant implications for his leadership and the conflict with Russia. The presence of 2 eclipses makes this month a turning point, both on a personal and political level. So, let's see what happens on March 1st. The transit ascendant is in Gemini, right in Zelensky's 2nd house, where his retrograde Jupiter is located. Translation: the spotlight is on money, national resources, and financial aid. The problem? Mars is practically sitting on his Jupiter, which can bring tensions or conflicts related to funding or military support from abroad. In short, he may have to handle tricky financial situations. Pluto in Capricorn is another major bombshell. It's placed in the 9th house of transits, very close to his natal Sun and Venus. What does this mean? That he will face extreme pressure from external forces, with possible diplomatic or military decisions imposed by others. Perhaps international support will shift, or he will receive very uncomfortable demands. Then, there's the 10th house of transits in Pisces, which is a complete mess. It contains the Moon, Mercury, Venus, Neptune, and Rahu, all overlapping his natal 11th house, where his Ketu is. This strongly suggests political confusion, illusions, and possible betrayals. Wrong decisions could be made, or he might discover that some allies are not as loyal as they seemed. And here, the situation gets even heavier. The lunar eclipse falls in Virgo, directly on his natal 5th house, activating Rahu and retrograde Pluto. This is not a transit to underestimate. The 5th house is linked to leadership and strategic choices, so Zelensky might make poor decisions due to external pressure. But the most concerning part? This transit increases the risk of personal attacks, political, and unfortunately, even physical. In short, the danger of an assassination attempt is very high. The eclipsed moon opposing Neptune in the 10th house worsens the confusion within the government. We could see political manipulation, fake news, and intense propaganda. Moreover, Mercury and Venus in Pisces in the 10th house of transits suggest important diplomatic or military decisions, but based on unreliable information. Someone might be deceiving him or working behind the scenes to destabilize him. Pluto in Capricorn continues to hammer his natal 9th house, severely testing his alliances and international credibility. And let's not forget Mars in Gemini, which remains in tension with his natal Jupiter. Financial and military pressure is at its peak. Now we arrive at March 29th, when a solar eclipse in Pisces will hit his natal 11th house. This is a sign of breaking ties with allies and supporters, or of a major political reorganization. There could be betrayals, backstabbing, or decisions that change the course of the conflict. The biggest issue is that the eclipsed Sun and Moon are perfectly aligned with his natal Ketu in the 11th house. This is never a good sign. It can mean isolation, loss of control, or even internal betrayals. Someone within his own circle might try to undermine him or remove him from power. Retrograde Mercury and Venus add confusion to communications and diplomatic relations. Hidden information or scandals could surface, weakening his position. The transit ascendant in Cancer falls on his natal 3rd house, where he has Mars and the Moon, so he will be in a very emotional phase and may react impulsively. And since his natal Mars is retrograde, this repressed energy could explode in unexpected ways. Pluto in Capricorn is still in the 9th house of transits, but now it is extremely close to his natal Sun and Venus. This is a sign of extreme challenges to his leadership. There could be attempts to overthrow him or international decisions that dramatically alter the war situation. Meanwhile, Jupiter and Uranus in the 11th house of transits suggest sudden events related to foreign military and financial aid. Something could change radically, for better or worse. And finally, Mars in Gemini in the 12th house of transits hints at secret military operations, undeclared attacks, or hidden strategies being implemented behind the scenes. March 2025 is a fiery month for Zelensky. It starts with immense economic and diplomatic pressure, moves through a lunar eclipse that could endanger his very life, and ends with a solar eclipse that could overturn his position of power. The risk of betrayals, poor decisions, and shocking events is incredibly high. If there is a month where his leadership will be brutally tested, it's this one. If there is a moment when everything could change, it's this one. The stars are clear. Pressures, tensions, difficult choices, and above all, unpredictable situations that could shift the balance. Between economic wars, allies who might turn their backs, and a possible personal risk for Zelensky, every decision made this month will have a massive impact on the future of the conflict and his leadership. The two eclipses are not just simple astrological events, but real turning points. The eclipsed moon brings instability and concrete dangers, while the solar eclipse could mark a radical change in political and military strategies. The question is, will Zelensky take control of the situation, or will events overwhelm him? What is certain is that tension is at its peak. The coming months will be decisive, and we will be here to uncover what happens next. And that's all for today. I send you all a big hug, and as always, thank you for following me today. If you enjoyed this video, please support me by subscribing to the channel, leaving a like, and commenting to let me know your thoughts. See you soon in the next video.